Discord.
Fighting a bird. On those rocks.
Yeah, they hurt.
What's annoying is that you can't seem to dodge them because it's like throwing the rocks at me.
Yeah, the time for it's ridiculous. Steven, are you back?
The intro was put over on top. My camera was on top of the intro, so I kind of danced it out there. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Chortle Cast. I'm one of your hosts, Jake, and with me, as always, the Stream King, the Far Cry guy, the man who may cry devil, and the guy who can't shoot the bird with the rocks, Steven. He's up in your top left corner there. Say hey, Steven.
Hey, Steven.
Can't shoot the rocks.
You make it sound like I'm shooting a bird with rocks, which technically is true because they're stone arrows, but the bird has the rocks.
You're shooting a bird with rocks. So anyway,
We're having a rock contest here, and I'm losing.
We're
Well, it wasn't
also
a rock.
We're also joined by the sickest guy in gaming. We call him Big Germ, but his name's Jeremy.
He's the germ. Have you ever been sick? That was him.
He's got the sickness. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chortlecast, the official podcast of Chortle Games, where we talk about video games, TV shows, movies, anime, whatever the heck we want to talk about. We got a great show for you this week. We're going to be a nice little catch-up episode this week, all right? It's been a little crazy. I don't know if anybody's keeping up, but I've had a baby in the last 6 weeks, so I've been in and out of content and whatnot, but I've been playing a lot of stuff and been watching a lot of stuff, so we're going to talk all about all of that. Yeah, and it's going to be a great time. We're going to talk about Monster Hunter Stories. We're going to talk about Pokemon Unite. We're going to talk about Orcs Must Die 3. We're going to talk about Death's Door. We're going to talk about Tribes of Midgar, which comes out tonight if you're watching this live, Monday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Or actually, it's 6:30.
Not streaming it.
Not be streaming it because it's coming out late. It's like a late night, like 11 o'clock it's dropping
11
out.
o'clock is when it comes out. Which, real quick, PlayStation... Am I the only one that didn't know that PlayStation actually tells you a game's launch time now? Apparently.
Oh wow! Got another.
It said in purchase. It said that it comes out 11 p.m. Tonight. I thought that was nice.
I just feel like not that they disclose the time. I don't think that's standard, but I just think like an 11 to 12 o'clock launch time is pretty standard nowadays.
Right. But there's always the question of if individual games follow that launch window or not. And I just thought it was great that it actually told me when I can expect to play it, because I can't tell you how many times I've purchased a game on PlayStation or on Steam and been waiting at the computer or at the TV at 10:59 wondering what I'm going to be doing in the next 2 minutes.
Well, yes. So I don't know where I was in the intro. I feel like I was somewhere Chortlecast.
About the topics, and I think
Chortlecast goes live every Monday night, usually around 6 or 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, and we're live on YouTube.com/ChortleGames or otherwise known as ChortleGames.com. We also are live on Twitch.tv/Chortle_Games and on Facebook and Twitter, both at Chortle Games. So if you're hanging out in any of those places, we just appreciate you watching. And that is a big old bird. Today we're playing The Raft while we do the podcast. So that's what you're watching. You're getting all three perspectives at once, and then you got my lovely mug to look at while I talk. So I'm sorry for that in advance. So.
Oh no, you're welcome for that in advance.
Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you.
Like an actual coffee mug or your face?
Well, so here's the thing.
It's his face superimposed on a mug.
So it's his lovely mug.
Yes.
It's my mug. I am drinking coffee, but it's not out of a mug. It's just out of like a mason jar. It's iced coffee. So a little bit different. But I want to say hey to the guys in the chat. Hey, what's up, Austin? What's up, Aaronator? Austin is saying that he's been drop kicking zombies in Dying Light. So
yes.
I know that makes Jeremy and Steven very happy boys.
153, pish posh. Those are rookie numbers. Get those up.
You got to get those numbers up. We can't allow you to just live with such low numbers there.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I just said get those numbers up. You literally threatened the boy's life.
Oh well, I mean, like we can't let it lie. You know what I mean? Can't let numbers like that lie. But yeah, all right. So let's just jump in. We're like I said, we're gonna do a little bit of catch up this week. Just kind of hang out, talk about what we've been playing. And I don't really know where I want to start because there are a few things to get to. And in certain levels of excitement, I think, for all of us. So why don't we start here? Let's start at Monster Honey. Monster Hunter Stories 2, which Steven has been playing a lot of. And I'm trying to catch up. I can't keep up with old Steven.
You selected this topic.
I did. And I would
made me happy.
I would really like to discuss it and hear more from your side now that you've played a little bit more, and now that I've played a little bit more.
I've played this game pretty much every night since it came out. I've played it for like an hour or so in bed, waiting to fall asleep.
That's nice. Great. That's nice. I've been trying. For me, it's been between this and another game that we're going to talk about later. Yeah. So I'll just jump in. So I've been playing Monster Hunter World just a tiny little bit. Stories. Sorry. Thank you. There's so many. There's Rise. There's World. I've been playing just a little bit, and I really, really like it. I like the turn-based style. I was thinking about it. One of my complaints, Steven, about the other Monster Hunters is I hate. I forget how I worded it, but like trying to navigate to the monster. And I know you guys are always like, well, use your scout flies. There's like all these different things, whatever. I feel like, at least so far, it's been much easier and much more obvious to like, okay, go here, do this, kill this monster.
Design, like Austin can probably attest to this because he's been playing World with me. But the map design in certain places, like especially the forest in World, are rough. But the big thing in Monster Hunter, and this is in stories, this is in World, this is in Rise, the big thing about Monster Hunter is that it balances the metagame of like loot and all that stuff with aptitude, like actually learning the game. And so that aspect of navigation and tracking monsters and whatnot. Oh God, what happened to me? I'm someone come help me. I'm stuck on the ground. But the tracking and everything becomes easier and better over time because you become a better hunter.
Right. And I guess that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I'm really good at like avoiding fights. So I pretty much only fight the things that I'm supposed to. I run from everything else. But anyway, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm excited to get further in. I really kind of just got out of the first area. So I'm hoping that opens up. I got a Puki, which is
That is one of my mains. I love the Puke.
that is a favorite monster of mine as well. But I guess I'm ready to just kind of find the monster that I'm chasing, and see what that's going to be. And
Well, I'm going to tell you right now that the monster that you want, and this is probably what it's going to take for you to really get in the game, is the monster that it's basically this game's Pikachu. Because there's a monster. You got the Rathalos Egg, right? You've already got
yes. The Rathalos Egg has been.
You get the Guardian Ratha or the Rathalos. You get him as a monster, and he is great.
Yeah,
he's like super powerful. He is a fire dragon that has a poison tipped tail. You can eventually fly him. And the flying, I just got to the part where you can fly not too long ago.
So you can fly. Okay,
yeah.
Great. See, that's something
he
to work forward to.
He has to grow into his wings. So at first he can't.
Gotcha. That's good to know, because I have been very curious about that, because I have a couple winged monsters that don't fly,
Not all of the winged monsters can fly. Like the Puke can actually fly, like the monster itself can, but it does not have the flight ability.
Gotcha. You're right.
But the Legiana, which is one of my favorites, that's the ice dragon. It can fly, so that's the monster that I fly around on. And I would say look forward to the flying, definitely, because I was impressed with how much you actually can fly.
That's good to know.
You can just kind of fly around the maps.
That's good to know. That's really good to know. I like flying quite a bit. So
so you said that the turn-based is fine.
So
right?
I like the turn-based. Similar, I'll say this, and we've I think you mentioned this. It's that it's been that they do a really good job of blending, like what as Monster Hunter into this game. Monster Hunter, you're fighting these monsters for just it feels like days, years. It just goes these fights go on and on. You're chasing them around the map. You're doing whatever. Like a lot of that is happening. And I feel like they somehow captured that in this. Maybe I'm dumb, and that's entirely possible. Do you see a health bar for these monsters? Because there is one.
The first time you fight one, you don't, because you don't know the monster. But once you fight one of those monsters a second time, you'll see their health bar.
Gotcha. I kind of assumed that's what was happening, but every monster I fought, it did that, and I was just like, okay. Is this how it is?
So have you just not fought
the
same monster twice?
Literally, I have gone from point A to point B. Hey, Jake, we need you to fight this monster. We need you to fight this monster. We need you to fight that monster. That's all I've
start grinding your XP. It's going to help you out. But the game does do something really nice that you'll notice, and it may have already shown you this. If you come up to a monster, like if you get in battle with a monster that's enough below your level, you can just tap L and R to quick finish it, and you'll still get just as much XP and progress as you would have by doing the full fight.
Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice.
And it'll automatically give you an S rating, so you don't have to fight with finesse.
That's great.
You just have to quick finish. So
that's really good.
And something else with the game, and you'll see this once you start looking for like monsters with certain genetics and stuff, is being able to make monsters retreat is really valuable, because that's how you get to a den where you can get their egg.
Right.
And certain monsters, actually, I think every single one of them has a certain thing you can do to increase the likelihood of retreat, in addition to hitting them with the paintball.
I was about to say paintball, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But there's another condition. Like when a monster, like with certain monsters, I'll just say a random condition that doesn't pertain to any monster specifically, but something might be like destroy its tail while it's enraged. And that'll increase the likelihood of retreat for that monster. So I thought that was really cool. The monsters all have a surprising amount of depth to them. Certain monsters have different versions. Like there's a Nargacuga, and then there's a green Nargacuga. I like that. That's really cool. You should be the one talking right now. I want to hear your thoughts on it.
I mean,
and like what your apprehension is, like what you like about it, what you don't like about it, all that stuff.
So what I like about it, I like that it seems, at least to me right now, simpler than past Monster Hunter entries that I've enjoyed. But also, and I knew this would be a big thing for me, the story elements, and really just, well, I guess the other ones have had story elements, but they seemed,
no one cares about them.
yeah, they seem not as important as I mean, it's a major part. I mean, it's in the it's in the name, in this one. So I think that is pulling me in. I'm still a little. I just don't have a great wealth of knowledge on Monster Hunter, so I don't know. They're talking about this Guardian Rathalos or whatever, and the Wings of Ruin and all this jazz. And I'm still trying to figure out exactly what that's going to mean and what that's going to do. But
you aren't alone in there,
right?
Because a lot of the context of the game seems like it. You just scared me so much. Whoever is walking towards Jake, I thought you were a monkey.
I'm a land shark. I've come to take your land. Oh God,
that was terrifying. But the context. Are you dead?
Oh yeah, big time.
My bow broke. What happened? Where'd you go?
I just respawned. I mean, I'm not losing anything. It's no sweat off my back. I might as well.
Whatever. Jeremy, are you alive?
Am I alive? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Cool. But yeah, one of the things
I just never played the game, so there's no point
right.
in being like, oh yeah, story.
No. But the first game seems to be obviously a lot of what is referenced.
Mm-hmm.
Like Red is the character you play as in the first game, and you'll see him mentioned a lot.
Oh yeah.
But the game does a good job of assuming that you never played it because a lot of people didn't.
Right.
Because it gives you a lot of the context that you need. And so I like that a lot. But yeah, there is a lot of that kind of like, what's going on? What am I supposed to feel right now? All that jazz. But it does a good job of keeping you up to speed.
Yeah.
I think.
And I've only met Kana so far, but like I was really kind of sad when when you left her to go to the next area, because I was like, dang.
Never see her again.
Seriously?
I at least haven't. I don't know, because I'm not to end game yet. So maybe they'll do a thing to where like during end game you get to pick who your companion is.
Wow.
Which would be cool. But yeah, because the story is linear.
Right.
The world exploration is not necessarily, because you can just spend a bunch of time in one area if you really liked one area.
Right.
But the story itself keeps progressing in one direction. So you never canonically in the story go back to your village.
Wow. Well, that's unfortunate. Because I was sitting here whenever you first showed me the game, and we're like, oh yeah, this is my partner or whatever that I'm working with right now. He's got this. He's got a Legiana. Is that right?
Yeah, that's Alwyn. You're about to get him.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But then I met Kaya, and I was just like, oh, she's really cool. Like, I may just keep her as my companion. I don't know that I'll swap her out. I might try somebody else out just to see. But I didn't realize that was not
she's fine,
a choice.
But and maybe it's just because the natural progression of things. She was my least favorite of the companions so far, because like whatever that, I always forget the name of her monster.
It's like Raymond or something. Rama.
I know what Ranmar is, what she named
Ranmar.
The one that she gives you, but I don't. Velocidrome, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Velocidrome. But she gets Velocidrome. And what?
Her widow Munsty.
Yeah.
Her widow Munsty.
Like when you look at the other monsters, Jeremy.
Just call them monsters.
Yeah, I'm cool with that, because the name Monsty is really stupid, and I dislike it. But yes, Brody, Jeremy, and I will be playing Midgard tonight. You're welcome to join us. Can you
preload it?
Yeah, mine's already pre-downloaded, or at least that's what I told it to do.
I need to get mine. I might can join you guys briefly via remote play.
Yeah, you should.
We'll see what happens. I'll try and pre-order and download now.
But what's her face has a Velocidrome. Velocidrome is fine. It's a very fine monster.
It's literally the first monster you get. It can't be the best. Yeah, I understand that.
Then you go to Alwyn, who has a Legiana, which is great. And then you go to this other girl who uses a hunting horn, so she supports the team, and her monster, whatever, is a Bariath, I think is what it's called, which is basically a dragon saber-toothed tiger. And then you have another buddy who doesn't have a monster, which is kind of an interesting dynamic because he's a hunter, not a rider, but he uses a great sword and he slaps. Like he is a great help in fights. And then the most recent one, the one that I've got right now, he's a dude with a sword and shield that does fire damage. And he did I just throw my spear? Oh, there we go. And he has a Rathian.
Ooh, okay.
So like she's just, in comparison to them, not great because the monsters they bring to the table are just so much better.
Right.
So you'll find yourself not looking back, I think, eventually. And
that's something, I mean, I know, I'm sure you've talked about it, but it is very weird being in a turn-based game that I'm not controlling every single person's move. And like, I think it would be, it doesn't, I can't decide if it bothers me per se. Like, especially my partner. I'm really cool with my partner doing their own independent thing. But I kind of wish I could control my Monstie a little bit.
You can.
You can?
I don't know if you have to get to a certain point in the story. But you may notice in the combat, it says, I think it says actual like Monstie in the menu. That is telling, you can use some of your kinship level to tell it what exactly it needs to do to attack. So if you know, for example, like a Puke is a technical monster, is its typical leaning.
Right.
So you know that it's probably going to use a technical attack against, let's say, an Anjanath, which is usually a power leaning monster. So you know that you need to get a speed advantage on it. So my Puke, for example, has Paralysis Fang as one of its abilities, which is a speed-based ability that does light, non-elemental damage, but has a chance to inflict paralysis. So I can use some of my kinship gauge to tell it, hey, use Paralysis Fang, so I can make it counter that power attack with a speed attack, even though it's a technical leaning monster.
Right.
So that's one of the ways that the combat really does flesh out, because in the case of like my Legiana, I made sure that Legiana has one of every single move type so that she is prepared to counter any move. Because I changed her genetics to have that ability.
Gotcha.
So it gets a lot deeper.
Okay, I just haven't gotten deep enough yet to really have gotten into all this. Once you get to
what's called the rites of channeling, which you should get to soon, that is being able to change the genes of monsters.
Gotcha.
That's when it gets pretty good. Like the combat really starts to take off, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Are we done with this island? Do we need to move on? I saw there was a cave. Have we gone in the cave?
I haven't gone in the cave. I have just been trying to get enough health to not just completely die. But this bird was literally bombing me while I was in bed. So let's talk about the.
I need to move the bed back to the bottom there.
You heal passively.
Move the smelter up to the second floor.
You heal passively, Jake.
Well, I know, but this damn bird and this damn shark, between the two of them, I can't keep my health over like 25%.
Gotcha. Do you have any other questions about stories?
No, I think it's great. Do you want to talk about your Palamute that you just got?
I finally got a Palamute like 3 hours ago. I'm really excited about it.
So how did you get it? How did you get it?
So you get to a certain point. It's actually the point where you get the buddy who doesn't have a monster with him. It's basically the big city. That's where you get layered armor as well. So if you ever find yourself like, wow, I like this armor, but it looks really stupid, you get layered armor at this point. So you can choose what armor set you want to look like. But in this city, you unlock co-op expeditions, but you need tickets to go on expeditions, which are pretty easy to get. But the better tickets are more expensive, and Palamute tickets are a specific ticket that you need to go on an expedition where you can find a Palamute, and you can do it without actual matchmaking, thankfully. So if you go in solo, you get a companion, like an AI. And so that's what I did. And so I got a ton of different eggs, and I was able to use a silver Palamute ticket. So my chance of getting one with better genetics was higher. And also there's no guarantee you actually get one for doing these, because this was my third one before even finding a Palamute egg. And this will also help you in case you weren't aware of this. When you find an egg, you'll notice that your little cat friend, Naviru, Is like, this
It
doesn't
smells.
smell great.
Yeah.
Yeah, the smell determines the rarity of their genetics, and the weight determines how many of their genetic slots are unlocked. So if a egg reeks and is really heavy, then it's going to be a Monsty egg that has really good abilities and also has more abilities unlocked to them, because some you'll see have a locked symbol, and you need to use a specific item to unlock that slot.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So this Palamute egg that I found was really heavy and it reeked. So I was like, oh my God, yes. Like, pinnacle Palamute egg right here. Let's go. And it was a normal, like, it's a non-elemental one, which I'm fine with, because I was going to originally make my Palamute probably more of a support animal so it could replace my Kuliaku, which has been an absolute unit in my party, which anyone, and pretty much Brody is probably the only one that knows this, but my Kuliaku, I have a history with them in Monster Hunter. Because when I first got to high rank in World, oh yeah, there's a shark in this game. When I first got to high rank in World, I was like, man, I need some high rank armor so I have better stats. But the only monster I can really handle is the Kuliaku. So I just went on a genocidal rage with these Kuliaku. I killed so many Kuliaku so I could make all of the Kulu armor that I needed. So I'm like freaking Baba Yaga to the Kuliaku species. And here I am in Stories 2. I get a Kuliaku, and it's my main monster for such a long time. But not only that, for a while, I'm riding this Kuliaku while wearing its mother/father for armor. So really, I just have done even worse things to this poor species.
I don't see any more resources on the island if you guys want to head out.
Okay. Is there anything underwater that we might be able to get? Like, because I ran out, my bow broke, so I was going to
It's all stone and rock here.
Okay, how do we get vine goo?
I made some.
Oh, sweet.
It's
Where is it? And now use it.
You melt the seaweed.
Okay.
You may have to do some more. I'll throw it in here.
Okay. But yeah, what was I even saying about the? Oh yeah, because my Kulu was my main monster for a really long time, and I think I was saying that my Palamute was going to replace it. Is that what I was saying?
I think that's where you were getting to, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
I'm glad you found one. I'm glad that all worked out. I'm sorry. I know you were asking us earlier on, hey, who's going to get this game? Because I'm going to need somebody to co-op.
Because there's a bunch of different Palamute is kind of like the Eevee of stories, because there are different elements for each Palamute. Which, by the way, the genetics, once you get to the rites of channeling, my understanding is that monsters attack, like their basic attack damage is the element which is their highest element. So with genetics, you can play what's called genetic bingo, where if you have, because they're colored, each gene has a color and a symbol. So if you get 3 in a row with a color or a symbol, like the symbols being power, speed, and technical, if you get 3 in a row for any of those power, speed, or technical, you increase the damage of those types of moves from that monster by 10% for each match. Same with the color, it changes their element. So let's say, for example, you really wanted a Puke, but you needed a monster that did lightning damage. You could make it to where through the genetic chart, you could give it all these lightning abilities and make it to where it has enough genetic bingo to where lightning is its highest element. So you can make it to where its basic attacks start dealing lightning damage and all of its special attacks are lightning-based attacks. So you can change, my understanding is, because I haven't deviated very far from natural elements of monsters, but my understanding is you could basically make any monster any element and use any ability.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Vine goes in this chest next to the grill.
Sweet. I will.
Should be 2 of them in there.
All right, let's move on topics. Let's talk about Pokemon Unite, which I think I'm probably the only one who's played. Is that correct? Has anyone else given this a shot?
Nope.
I will never play on MOBA. So.
Thank you. God, Jeremy, you're the best.
Hey, that's fine. That's totally fine. I understand. I understand and I respect that. I won't be long. I will just say for a game that for me came out of nowhere, I really enjoy it. I have no idea why I enjoy it though. I unlocked a Lucario, Had a great time.
That's why.
I love Lucario. Look, if there was an Eevee in the game, game over. Let me tell you.
Just wait a couple months.
I know. I really hope they put at least a Eevee in there. I just don't know which one it's going to be.
So this back chest, as you guys can see, I kind of organized it. Just throw stuff in there.
All right.
Sorry, continue, Jake.
My understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, but Pokemon, do they evolve mid-match?
Yeah. So here, let me quickly explain the game. So I don't know what the trappings are of a MOBA, but basically how they
suck and they're annoying.
Okay. Basically, you're put in this arena. You play as the Pokemon, and yes, as Steven described it, you start as whatever the lowest evolution of said Pokemon is. Of course, some Pokemon don't have an evolution, so you would stay. You're just leveling up.
You don't start as a Lucario. You start as what's it called?
It's something with an R. It's like a Rowlet. That's not right. A Rhodey. It starts with an R. Yeah. Anyway. Actually, Lucario is one of those I'm still confused. Maybe I've only really gotten to do a practice match with Lucario, so maybe I missed out on this. But Lucario, for some weird reason, does start as Lucario. There's not a.
That's really strange.
Yeah, I know. There are a couple that don't evolve, but I'm pretty sure you have an evolution. I don't know. Anyway, I digress.
An evolution.
I wish there was.
That was going to be my next question, but you can talk about overview first because I just don't know how they do Eevee with that evolution system in place without just oversaturating the player base with Eevees.
I'm assuming they will pick one. If they add an Eevee, they'll pick an evolution, if you will, and they'll stick with it. But anyway, the basically you're dropped in, and it's similar to Gambit actually, where you're fighting other non-player Pokemon. You're in a team of I think 4 or 5 with other players. Maybe it's more, maybe it's 6. I forget. Anyway, but you're running around fighting other Pokemon. Like Zapdos shows up at one point, and he's worth like 100 points. So like it's almost a if you don't get Zapdos, you pretty much are losing. But you're killing other. You're fighting other Pokemon, PvE Pokemon.
Killing them.
I know, but that's just so mean to say. You know,
killing them and drinking their blood for sustenance.
Wow,
that's what they don't tell you.
That's what they don't tell you.
It's a dark side to Pokemon.
The dark side. You're fighting other Pokemon, leveling yourself up, and then of course you take those points that you're earning, and you go deposit it in these like banks, if you will. And there's like, and this is one thing I'll talk about too, but there's only one arena. I kind of hope they add more arenas to make it a little bit more interesting, but it's basically an oval. And at the midpoint, that's kind of where the colors change, but there's 4, hang on. 2, 4. No. Yeah, 2, 4. There's 5 like banks on each team for each team. And there's like 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom, and then 1 at like your spawn point. And basically you have to dunk enough points in the closer to the center banks till you destroy it, and then you can move on to the next one, and so on and so forth. And so it's all basically just a race to see who can get the most points in the given time, and blah blah blah. It's a lot of fun. I've won some matches. I've lost a couple matches. It does seem like you got to find the right Pokemon for your play style. There is some like teamwork, collaboration stuff going on that I'm still kind of picking up on. Like I have complaints. Like I don't like that there's only one arena. I really wish there was more than one arena. I do like the variety of Pokemon that they've given you, and I like that like you can get, I forget what they call them. They're either like licenses or badges to play as different Pokemon. But like every day they give you like some timed trials to play all these different Pokemon. So like I don't have a Cinderace right now, but I've played so much Cinderace because He's been on like a long time trial right now. So I've played a ton of him. He's actually really, really good. He's got long range.
Typically what MOBAs do. And I'm not like the trash. There's an island over there. I didn't know if you saw that, Jeremy. The trash that I say about to the left.
Oh yeah, we won't make it. The wind is blowing.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's fine. The trash that I say about MOBAs is coming from a place where I actually have played MOBAs. I played a MOBA, Heroes of the Storm, which is Blizzard's
right.
X-Defiant. But the way they usually do those, my understanding is this is how League does it. This is how Heroes of the Storm did it. Is that they have rotations to where you can play characters for free for like a day, and then each day they rotate. Each week they rotate whatever.
Yeah, I've played League, Heroes, and the one on PS4 that you play as like gods and
Smite.
Yeah, I played all 3 of those. I liked Smite, but it's a good console game. It's definitely not.
Yeah, I enjoyed aspects of Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, it's aspects of the game though. It's not the entirety of the game, unfortunately.
Right. Well, and
then when they start pushing PvP, it's like no.
Yeah,
that's what I'd guess I'd like to say about this. Just to kind of wrap it up, I don't know why I like it so much, but I find myself coming back just wanting to play more. Like it's a good gameplay loop. Especially if there's a certain Pokemon that you did a time trial with, or even just a favorite Pokemon. Like for me, it was like, oh, Lucario's in this. I've got to get Lucario. That's awesome. And that's kind of what my goal was. Once I got him, now it's just kind of like, well, I do enjoy playing the game, so I guess I'll just play a little bit.
I think that's why MOBAs are so successful to casuals, because they do have an addicting loop to an extent, because it's each time you level up each session, like you start from one and you progress. And so there, like with Heroes of the Storm, it was like, oh, what play style should I try for this character this time?
Right.
And it was getting to like experiment with the different moves that they had. And I mean, it's down to like, when you look at psychology, even leveling up is an addicting thing to the human mind.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because it flashes on your screen, like it's like, oh, choose these things. Like, oh, look at all this stuff that you get for leveling up. And so like MOBAs probably the most egregiously, that's not true. The first 2 hours of any mobile game, the most egregiously abuses that dopamine that you get from leveling up. And so I feel like MOBAs utilize that, and that's fine. Like it's an interesting concept to do. You level up each time you play a session, but I do think that's probably a lot of the reason why they're so successful, is because they do have that addicting style to them, just like BRs do.
Right. Yeah.
You start fresh each time, and so if you fail, you just
start again. Yeah. Well, and that's to wrap this. I guess what I'll say is I really my biggest critique is I don't know why this isn't a mobile game. I hate that this is trapped to Switch. And I've heard rumors that yes, it is going to eventually become a mobile thing. But that's the biggest complaint I have so far is I wish I could be playing it on my phone. Cause it is one of those things that like, I really just want to play just a little bit. You know, I don't want it to be like my gaming session. I wish I could just knock out a few games when I don't have anything else that I can get to. That way that itch is scratched by the time I actually sit down to play something.
Let me ask you this.
Ask away, Steven.
This is a dumb question that I feel like everyone already knows the answer to, but I'm just going to ask it for the sake of my point. Are there microtransactions?
Yes, there are. And actually,
you can like buy licenses to play characters and stuff, right?
Well, so you can buy like, I don't know what they're called, but you can buy gems or whatever, magic Pokemon gems that could fast track you to getting a license for that Pokemon that you want. But all Pokemon are earnable by in-game credits.
But there is a heavy lean towards like, sure, you can do this naturally, but
yeah.
Go ahead and pay for it.
Well, and I saw somebody, there's some thread going around on Twitter right now that it is apparently very much pay to win. Some streamer found a way to pay blankety blank to boost his stats for something. I don't know. The typical trappings there. Yeah.
So going from that point of, yes, there are microtransactions, it is a Nintendo licensed IP.
Right.
So it makes sense for them to release it on Switch and give it some time on Switch so that they can build up their player base on Switch, so that when the game is ready to launch on mobile, they've created enough incentive because people have made enough progress on Switch to not switch from their platform. Because if they switch from the Switch, they start getting not as much from microtransactions because they're having to pay a fee to Apple and Android.
Yeah. That it all makes sense. I'm just saying, me as a player, I wish it was on mobile.
They're just trying to inflate the player base. There probably won't be a cross save component, so that people are invested enough. They've gotten enough to where they're like, I don't want to restart this.
Right.
So I'm not going to move to mobile.
Right. And that that makes sense. I get it. I understand that, but I understand it, but it doesn't mean I like it. You know what I mean? I still want to play it on mobile, but the day will come.
My opinion most of the time regarding everything. I understand it, but I don't like it.
I understand it. I just don't like it. But yeah, so that's enough about Pokemon Unite. Let's jump in. Let's talk about something. Well, here, just while I've got the floor, I'll briefly talk on Death's Door. A really fun
dropping bars over here.
I'm sorry. Death's Door. I did one stream of it a few days ago. I think it was last Thursday. Just because I didn't have a ton of time to be on the stream, so I just did a quick hour stream of it. I haven't gotten to play much more of it because I'm still trying to figure out Steam link so I can get it on my phone. But it's a really, really charming Zelda-like game. Say that again.
Are we done on this island?
I think so.
Did we get everything underwater?
I can't go underwater when there's a shark because he chomps on me like nobody's business.
Shark really hates you.
It really hates me. I can't do it. It drives me crazy.
I'm looking around.
Try to get all the ingots we can, like the.
Here, I'll just sit underwater so the shark will bother me, not you guys. There he is. Didn't take 5 seconds. But yeah, Death's Door, I really like it. I'm hoping to stream more of it. But if you're looking for a Zelda-like game with a charming world, look no further than Death's Door. It is really, really fun so far. And I'm going to punch the shark. There we go. But yeah, Steven, let's talk about Orcs Must Die 3.
Yeah. It came out on all platforms Tuesday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No. Was it Tuesday? No. What day is it?
It's Monday.
It's Monday.
Did it come out on Friday or Tuesday?
Maybe Thursday.
It came out on.
It came out this week. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Gosh. Anna's not here, and so like my perception of life outside of this
time
house,
and space have stopped.
It's all warped. It really is. But I'm gonna be gauging like what time it is, what day it is, based on like events. Because actually, here's something else we can talk about. Guild Wars 2 is doing their first reveal stream of the End of Dragons tomorrow morning. So we'll get to see like what specializations are coming to the next expansion. We'll get to see Cantha, all this good stuff. It's gonna be great. I'm really excited. But regarding Orcs Must Die, it's apparently been out for a year.
Yeah, it was locked behind Stadia's system. So
yeah, I had no clue.
Yeah,
I didn't even know Orcs Must Die 3 was a thing, like in development or whatever. And then I looked up on the wiki. I was like, oh, it's been out for a year. That's how little Stadia has done. Like,
I mean, to be fair, I personally have not been following any Stadia directs or whatever they've done. I usually will get like a recap, maybe.
I don't follow Xbox, but I know when games are coming out for that.
Well, there you go.
Actually, that's not true because Game Pass is a thing. Whatever.
I was gonna say, I feel like you do see it, but anyway. Yeah. Well, so basically, Orcs Must Die 3 is a tower defense game You play as all these different characters. You're obviously defending against orcs, and the orcs must die. And there's all these different characters, all these different weapons, all these different traps. Obviously, that's a huge part of a tower defense game. And we played it, was that Saturday? Saturday we did a...
None of you showed up. How dare you not show up
How
to
dare
an
you not show up?
stream?
I know, that was a...
Until Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
I had been... It was a late night stream, to be fair. It was right after I had...
Minute thing that we threw together.
Very last minute. But it was great fun. I really, really enjoyed it. I'm a big fan of tower defense games, just to begin with. And so I had a great time getting to play it, getting to check it out. But Steven, you've played a lot more of it than I have. So what are your thoughts on it so far?
Pretty much my entire Saturday was spent playing Orcs Must Die.
Right. Steven is way more advanced than I am so far.
It is, in my opinion, and some people would disagree, but in my opinion, it's the best that we've seen in the franchise.
Right.
I think that the overall gameplay is just super solid. There's a lot more to work with. Like, there's a ton of different traps. There's a ton of different weapons. There's different trinkets. You could build yourself to be someone that doesn't drop traps at all.
Right.
And I mean, if you're playing co-op, that would probably go well. But God help you if you try that in solo. But like Jake, for example, since I do a lot of traps, Jake could be like, I don't feel like placing traps, so I'm just going to bring 4 different weapons, all these different trinkets, and then a magic spell, and just go nuts. Like, hold the line by myself, and you can do that.
Even in the even what we did last on Saturday, I just was so early in the game. Steven had way cooler, way better traps than me. So I just kind of let him, lay out the plan for the traps. I'd throw down some spikes because that was just about the only useful addition I could bring. But then, I was unlocking new weapons. I was leveling up my weapons, making sure that was all nice and good.
There's an impressive amount of options.
Yes.
Like, even when I played the game, because I played 2 a decent amount.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got into 3 and saw the spell book to see like all the different stuff you can eventually get, I was surprised.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a ton of different stuff, and it's very impressive. There's 6 different characters,
and they all have their own little abilities. Like my guy can jump and like do a ground pound. One of the other characters you start off with, she can like float, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, she can literally stand on air.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. There's Steven's character. It has one of my favorite abilities, sickness.
Yeah.
He just plays
sickness,
dead.
Not sickness.
No, he's
he
the
hasn't
sickness.
Met Jeremy. He's
down with it.
He's down with the sickness. But he passes out, plays dead, if you will, and that's like a heal for him, and enemies ignore him. So it's a really fun move.
Death, I just double jump and I just pass out on the ground, and people are like, oh, okay, he's dead.
They're like, we got him. But yeah, it's a really fun. One element that I really loved from it is the what are they called, Steven? The siege scenarios, war scenarios.
War scenarios.
And it's like, instead of tower defense, it's siege defense, and it is so much fun.
Like, the first scene from Lord of the Rings: Fellowship of the Ring, where the last alliance of men and elves, it's that.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes, it is so cool, so fun. Obviously, bigger waves of enemies are coming at you at once. You're literally like setting up rows of archers instead of just one archer at a time. There's a catapult you can lay down, and you can actually use that. Like, you can jump in the catapult and man it. Lots of just really fun stuff there. And
it's easily the best part of the game.
Yes.
And thankfully they don't hide it. Like, they utilize it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I assume you were getting to this, you can't play that on endless mode.
Yeah, that's my only complaint so far.
Yeah, I agree with that. Sometimes the game can get frustrating. I will say this, when you play something like endless mode, it seems like the scaling is just bogus to where like you're eventually just not dealing any damage.
Oh gosh.
So it can get frustrating. But it's a tower defense. Scaling is going to be harsh. That's just the name of the game. Right. The goal is to not be alive forever, so they've got to kill you somehow.
They got to kill you somehow.
They got to kill you somehow. Overall, the game, it's exactly what I expected in terms of gameplay, but I was pleasantly surprised with the amount, like the depth of content, I guess. Because I got about what I expected in like how many maps and scenarios there are, but there's a lot more options than I thought.
Yeah.
And I've been pleasantly surprised, having a great time with it. It's a good time.
Yeah, I do
wish that it was more than 2-player co-op though.
Oh, that's the worst. Which, I mean, it was, I don't know that I'd say easy, but we were not very challenged, I don't think, Steven and I.
Well, I mean, I had beaten the Old Friends campaign, which is what you were starting. Like, you were starting the game, and I had beaten the first campaign. So, me coming into your session, we were steamrolling.
Right.
But the game definitely is easier in co-op. Like, I don't know if the game scales with more difficulty. Island straight ahead, by the way, or is that the one we just left?
No, that's a new one. I'm heading to that one.
Sweet. But I don't know if the game scales in difficulty in co-op like other games do or not. But it definitely is preferable to play in co-op because there's more people to hold down choke points. There's more traps to be placed. Thankfully, and this is a huge plus to the way the game plays co-op, you don't share expense. So I could be like, hey, I'm going to spend on all traps that are ceiling and wall. And Jake could be like, great, I'm only going to buy floor traps. And we do that separately, which is a huge plus for me. But I do feel like kind of like the Outriders situation. People said that it's weird that it's 3-player. But their answer to that was that they tried scaling with 4 and it was just too much. I can understand that because to my knowledge, in other tower defense games, specifically I think in Orcs Must Die 2, there is a limit to how many traps you can place.
Right.
In this game, I have not hit that limit, and I've tried.
Right. No, we were spamming floor traps and stuff, so no, there's certainly not.
And so if you have 3 or heck 4 people doing that,
that would be a lot.
I can see why there would be issue.
Right.
So I guess I understand, but that doesn't make it any less disappointing that like we can't do a 3-person stream of that game.
Don't give them an excuse.
Yeah, screw them. Screw them for having logic.
Maybe once it opens up to mods, they'll add a modifier that you can have 3 people.
It's possible because I mean there are games that have added co-op where co-op didn't exist, and it's been really challenging. But with this, I assume since the co-op's already there,
it should be easy enough to implement. But
that'd be great.
Obviously, it wouldn't be scaled. I understand that, but still, could be fun.
Just make the difficulty higher. Like play one difficulty higher than you were playing.
There you go, or 2, whatever it takes.
Right, but it's great. It's for all platforms except for Switch. It would excel on Switch. It would be a great Switch.
Do you really think so?
I do, just in terms of like tower defense games in nature really excel at games like individual sessions.
Right.
And I think that the Switch is the ideal place to do session-based games.
See,
I think that it may struggle a little bit in terms of from a technical standpoint, but I think gameplay-wise, it would be really good.
See, I feel like Siege, it would not. I don't think it could handle the Siege stuff very well. But I could be wrong. I've been proven wrong by the Switch before.
Look,
so
the Switch is some kind of black magic because that thing can play Witcher 3. So like,
yeah, but it's not good. It's not good.
I've heard that it's fine.
It's
if you played it on.
It's fine. It's not the most ideal way to play that game, but hey, if that's the only thing you got that plays The Witcher, go for it.
That's just like, okay, this thing is deceptively like it's capable of things that we aren't aware of.
That's true. That I'll respect that. That's fine. Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, that's all the stuff we've been playing, but like we've been kind of talking about a little bit, we are hoping to play Tribes of Midgard tonight. Steven, you said you wanted to talk a little bit about that.
Jeremy, why don't you talk about your understanding of Tribes of Midgard since you've been here and you've been so quiet and people want to hear
Yes, please. Please, Jeremy.
God, I don't remember much about it, to be honest. Because that's all I've seen is that trailer for it. But
give me your understanding, and I will summarize any questions that you have. Because I don't know too much either. I just know what the 2 trailers that I've seen have told me.
I mean, it looks like a survival game.
Yeah,
it's like a Viking era, obviously.
Yes.
Yes. Tell me more.
Yes, and I mean that's pretty much it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was about to say all I really know about it is it's a Viking. To me, it looks like a Viking like builder's settlement. Like you're making a settlement, but you're also kind of like that other Viking game. Crap, what's it called?
Valheim.
It starts with a V. Valheim. Yeah. That
one's take credit for that.
That one seemed.
Valheim?
That one seemed more focused on survival. Then this one seems more like it's focused on making your own settlement and then also surviving in the elements. But
so my understanding of this game is that if you wanted to just do the quickest of summaries, it is Diablo meets Fortnite Save the World.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's got what seems to be a similar building mechanic to Fortnite Save the World, and I'm saying Fortnite Save the World because I don't want to give Fortnite Battle Royale any credit because it deserves none.
Right.
So it's like Fortnite Save the World meets Diablo because it's the top-down perspective. You're getting loot, all that jazz. It's 10-player co-op, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, that's mind-blowing.
Yeah. And so it sounds like during the day you scavenge for materials and stuff. There are like 8 different biomes, 6 or 8. I can't remember the exact number. Different biomes. It is procedural, so each session I think is different. But during the day you scavenge for materials, and then at night your settlement is attacked. And the building seems like a cross between like Fortnite Save the World and an RTS. Because you can place walls, you can place apparently shops and stuff. So it's like town management. But you're trying to defend the world tree, Yggdrasil. And they said that they're trying to go for there's no personal storage in this game. There is a communal storage. So they're trying to make it to where you survive together rather than people selfishly hoarding things. Because they said yeah, me too. They said at the end of the day, if Yggdrasil goes down, you all lose. And so they really want to make it like they want to make it if one of you succeeds, you all succeed. Like, or you all succeed together or you all fail together. And I like that because that kind of goes back to the Viking themery, I guess, because they were in war bands and they had to work together and scrounge together, all that stuff. Right. So I like that. That's unique thing about it. There is seasonal content, which I thought was interesting. So this is going to be one of those games with, I don't know if they said it's going to be free content. So I don't know if there's going to be a battle pass system implemented, but it does seem like I get a vibe from it that it is going to be a monetized game in some way. Right. But yeah, it's probably going to be cosmetic microtransactions.
We have a special guest.
Evidently season 1 is
to
the
join
Wolf
us.
Saga.
People call him the Viking already. His name's Asher, though. He's Asher the Viking. He's a dinosaur Viking, actually, right now. He's got lots of dinosaur stuff on. What's up, buddy? You shot. This is a podcast. It's audio. I mean, there is a video element, which you're lucky for, but like they got to hear you a little bit.
We done on this island?
He's given a real nice stank face.
Do we need to check underwater
for everybody? So, cranky face. All right.
Say yes.
Almost bedtime for our little Viking there, but anyway.
So if I was to ask you, because this game does have classes in it, which, big plus for me. How many classes do you think are in this game?
I'm going to say 5.
Okay, Jake says 5. Jeremy, how many?
Now, Steven, I have a follow-up question that I need you to ask me.
20?
I need you to.
Jeremy went way high.
Steven, I need you to ask me a follow-up question, and that is simply, Jake, can you name what would those 5 types of classes be? And see what I can come up with.
So, Jake.
Yes.
There are 8 classes in this game.
I was really close. I would have won if this was The Price is Right.
You would have, because
you were the closest without going over.
Yep.
Jeremy took the opposite strategy as some little Price is Right.
That never works, Jeremy. You always bid the $1,
But yeah, you're that dick.
Yeah, I should have said $6.
But There are 8 classes, and I'm going to do. Hold on, because I don't know what the classes are, but I'm going to tell you.
I was about to say, please pull them up because I want to know.
Jake, what are the classes in Tribes of Midgard?
There's got to be a tank, right?
What's it called?
Math, science, social studies.
I didn't claim that I could name them, but let's call the Berserker.
Okay. There is a Berserker.
Okay.
That was an excellent use of Norse mythology knowledge because the term Berserker comes from Norse mythology.
Yep. I was playing that one safe. Now that's all I got. Trickster.
Hold on.
Trickster.
I'm going to help you here.
Trickster. Steven, is there a trickster?
Is it a Jekyll? It's a Jekyll?
I'm going to read you the description of classes that you guessed the name of correctly to help you narrow down your subsequent guesses. You're welcome.
Okay.
You interrupted me. Berserker, the goddess through war, that's probably mispronounced, taught the Berserker the art of combat and how to use their aggressive emotions to their advantage. Little can stop a Berserker when they're exploding in the middle of combat. Okay. And little can match the amount of destruction they cause. More often than not, you'll be using a massive two-handed weapon with this class.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the official description because this is not straight from their website, but I think that's a pretty good description.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the Berserker.
I tried to go to their website and it wasn't pretty.
Yeah. There is not a trickster.
Dang.
That's surprising.
So is there a rogue type character? Someone who's stealthy?
Not stealthy.
Interesting.
No.
Interesting. Is there like a magic character? I'm gonna say a witch.
Witch, okay. No witch. There is obviously a magic character, but no witch.
All right, I'm blanked on what.
You started with tank. There are 2 words that, if you were to, narrow what a tank is, there are 2 words in here that are just easy to grab tank names. There are 2 of them that would be synonyms to what a tank is.
The Wall.
In a video game. You've got to be kidding me.
I don't know.
No.
The Attacker.
You suck at this. Jeremy, you want to take a swing?
Hold the line. Jeremy's the tank. I don't know what to tell you. Jeremy usually plays tank. I'm never.
Classes are Guardian.
Titan.
Oh yeah, Guardian.
Guardian, yeah. Sentinel. Warden. All 3 of those could technically be described as a tank. Warrior. You didn't guess warrior.
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 Yeah, that's our bad.
Yeah. Seer.
Oh.
That's your mage, probably.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Ranger and hunter.
Ranger. That's good.
I'm so disappointed.
So is there one that has pets? That's what
I'm pretty sure that all of them have pets.
Do you have descriptions on these?
I have descriptions on these. I will read.
Blow through them all for me.
Guardian. A guardian draws its strength and inspiration from Forseti, using a trusty sword and robust shield to protect their allies. If you plan on playing as a guardian, you will find yourself in the middle of the battle, charging forward to take most of the damage to protect your allies and push the enemy back. As a result, you'll be able to stand toe-to-toe with the toughest foes. Which, by the way, just to reference why there's probably not a stealth character in this game, if you've seen a trailer for it, you fight basically Titans.
Right. Yeah. They're big.
Like Surtur from Thor Ragnarok, you fight him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think that stealth.
Stealth's not really going to be a good option.
Right. Hunter. For those who prefer to remain agile and use a melee weapon, this is probably the closest to a rogue. The hunter, provided wisdom by Scowie. I don't know any of these. Yeah. Will be tracking down dangerous enemies and keeping to the shadows. Okay, so there is a stealth class.
Looky there. God. Taking points away from me, Steven.
You never would have guessed that the rogue would be called a hunter. Don't lie to me. You didn't say warrior.
I didn't say warrior.
Character might be more susceptible to taking damage than other classes, but their agility keeps them alive, along with the added benefit of using magical totems to augment their abilities and even keep them alive should they fall in combat. That's cool. That's
interesting.
A cool twist. Ranger. By channeling the power of the mighty hunter Ulr, The Rangers will be using ranged combat to their advance. That's probably a typo.
Advantage.
Striking from the shadows to attack their opponents. The Rangers are similar to the Hunter, only using ranged skills. This class is ideal for those who prefer to remain at a distance and protect their allies using their aim. You're going to struggle quite a bit fighting at close range, though. Seer. Seers have a connection to the world tree and learn from the goddess Aun how to control the environment around them. They're capable of using spells to control and contort things around them, using it to their advantage and their allies around them. I'm either going to be Seer or Ranger, depending on how much these classes branch.
I really like what you're saying with the Seer, but I'm listening for others too.
Sentinel. For those who prefer to utilize a shield and remain at the head of the pack, the Sentinels were taught by Sin, S-Y-N, how to lead a charge properly. Like the Guardians, Sentinels will inspire their allies to push forward and use their shield to counter any enemy attack and remain in a fight. The Guardians might be better at taking a hit, but the Sentinels can return it. That's an interesting distinction. I like how a lot of these classes seem to be like subclasses of a bigger class.
Right.
That seems cool because the way that they're describing the Sentinel seems that it's like the shield is your weapon basically, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the Guardian is more of like you're just a big beefy boy, but the Sentinel's like you've got a shield.
You're a big beefy
Warden.
boy.
The goddess Aun.
Who is this? I'm sorry.
Warden.
Who is this?
Warden.
Okay. Yeah.
Guides the Warden in showing them how to inspire their allies and destructive power to any foe bold enough to step foot in their village. You'll be working with your allies to give them additional strengths during combat. I might play a Warden.
I'll say this is you, Steven. That's you right there.
Sounds like me. Okay. Warrior. Warrior is driven by the same justice that guides Tyr, capable of using various melee skills and spells to their advantage. When playing as a warrior, you'll be using a shield to help protect yourself, similar to the Guardian, but you'll find yourself being far more aggressive and dealing more damage to the onslaught of foes threatening your village. So if you think of these classes as two heads of a same coin, Berserker and Warrior are the same coin, with Warrior being the more defensive one, and Berserker being the more aggressive one. So that's your offensive DPS melee class would be between Warrior and Berserker.
Right.
Warden and Seer seem like they may be two sides of the same coin, one being more about offensive magic and the other being about supportive magic. Sentinel and Guardian, one being more about taking the hits and the other being about returning the hits, like Thorn's damage, I guess. And then Ranger and Hunter, the distinction being one is more stealth, up close, glass cannon, and the other is ranged glass cannon. Right. That's an interesting way to do classes, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, I really like it too. I'm excited. This is going to be fun. We'll have to stream this later this week. But hopefully we can get a jump start on it tonight so we can speak at least a little bit knowledgeably as we play it. But ladies,
it sounds like Andrew's going to be playing it tonight. Brody might be playing it tonight. Jeremy and I are playing it tonight. So we may have a 4-person team.
We might have a full crew
to experience this game. And you said you might be able to as well.
I'll be on remote play, so I don't know how helpful I'll be, but I'll try to jump in, and it'll be spurts. So
I would almost say if you can't chat with us, then don't even show up. Because we could be like, okay, we need this ore specifically for this thing, otherwise the world tree will die. And then we turn around and Jake takes the ore and like mines it into a bow that he can't even use.
That is something I would do. I can at least listen in on chat. I just may not be able to speak back, but I can at least take direction. I'll be in a good. I'll be on my best behavior, Steven. I'll take your direction for once.
Good.
I'll actually listen without doing. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for tonight's podcast. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to like, follow, subscribe on whatever platform you enjoy listening and watching on. Of course, chortlegames.com. That's our YouTube channel. You can subscribe there. We've got 1,000 subscribers. We're still looking to do some sort of celebration for that. We haven't officially decided. I think we're still trying to work out some kinks. What you guys are saying something? What were you saying?
Just making sure that we didn't drop again.
Okay.
No, I think we went back.
No, we're good. We're still at 1,000, at least last I checked. So, but anyway, we're also on Twitch, twitch.tv/Chortle_games, Facebook and Twitter, both at Chortle Games. So be sure to like, follow, wherever you like to listen. and that really helps us out. So, of course, also podcast listeners on Apple Podcasts over there on your podcast feeds. But yeah, this has been a great show. Thank you guys. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Jeremy, for tuning for being with us. Thank you for everybody that tuned in. We will be live streaming later this week. Of course, we live stream throughout the week, usually on Thursday nights, Friday nights, and Saturday nights. Sounds like we're going to be doing some Tribes of Midgar. Hopefully, Steven and I can get back to some Orcs Must Die. And then I feel like there was one other game, Steven, that we were like, oh, we got to try this at some point this week, and I'm blanking on what it was.
Avengers has its update coming.
That's right. Avengers update is Tuesday, tomorrow. So
tomorrow, yes, which is weird. They normally update on Thursdays. Which, let me talk real quick before we end this thing.
Oh gosh.
This is a really big week for things.
Oh yeah.
Because
it's kind of random too.
It really is, because Tribes of Midgard comes out tonight. Avengers updates tomorrow. Guild Wars 2 is getting its reveal stream tomorrow. The Ascent comes out Friday, which I'm stoked about.
Yes.
This is a good week for me and Jeremy.
It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. We will see you later this week in our live streams. Peace.
Bye.
Bye guys.